Blame Truth here. I don't like making these videos. Can I just say it? I don't like making these videos. But we are at a point where Call of Duty is just pretty boring and things are getting really out of hand all across the gaming landscape. But this actually relates to Call of Duty. We've been called out. Most of my viewers here are male. It's like 97% male, 3% female. And I can vouch for the people in my comment section because I read your guys' shit every single fucking day, pretty much. You guys are pretty cool, at least on the surface. I enjoy reading what you have to say. I enjoy talking with you in the comment section. I'd probably have a beer with you, on me, if I saw you in real life. I actually have done that before. I've met people from my Twitch stream just out of nowhere, and we've gotten a beer. That's 100% a true story. I'm not making that up. I'm actually hanging out with the guy I initially met and had a beer with tomorrow. Anyway, I bring this up because this person has a different opinion about us. And this is one of the most disgusting things I have ever heard in my 18 years on the internet, in the Call of Duty community. And the Call of Duty community and most of the gaming community has been infested by people just like this. You know, I saw a video from Birdman talking about this woman just recently basically unmuting this guy who was being mean to her in a game just to farm impressions, just to gain sympathy, what have you. And most of the internet called it out for what it was, thankfully. And we kind of got another case of that on our hands, but way worse. I'm just going to roll the footage here, 2 clips back to back, and you guys can pause the video before I even say anything and give your comments below. But anyway, let's roll the footage.
You wouldn't last 10 minutes in a COD lobby is not, nor has it ever been, a valid excuse for men to act like pieces of human garbage in gaming. I shouldn't have to play a game where all I say is hi and the whole game is thrown and I'm in hell for the next 40 minutes because men are being emotional about it. That is not normal, and that's not how the old COD days were, because I promise you, as a man, you have never had somebody throw on the basis of your gender. That doesn't happen. You can say it happens. You're lying. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's such a common thing in the comments of my videos. You guys want to be oppressed so bad that you'll look at a man calling me telling me he's going to tell me to get back in the kitchen and say it's not a woman thing and say that that happens to you too. It doesn't. There's a reason that historically male-dominated spaces are known for being toxic and unsafe. That goes for gaming, that goes for sports. Any male-dominated space is a bad one. That's not me being sexist. That is me saying there is an inherent issue with the way that you guys have your locker room talk that makes everybody else feel unsafe. I don't know how you could possibly find it fun to make other people feel unsafe. No woman is asking men to make gaming a safe space with sunshine and rainbows and everything, but could you please be normal? Because I want to be able to enjoy playing the game without my life being threatened, without my body being threatened.
So there's the first clip. On one hand, I kind of agree. Just be normal in video games. I personally just play in a party with my friends. I don't hear anyone. I don't really do public lobby chat. Just never really been a fan of it. I just get on, game with my friends. We talk in a party. To say that the solution is as simple as just mute them is literally the solution. It's just mute them. Just mute them, block them, report them, what have you. God knows if it's Call of Duty, they're going to ban them for saying they're going to work on the tranny in their Toyota truck because it thinks it's a slur. I'm not kidding. That actually happened, according to this one guy on Reddit. But regardless, guys, I just think it's one of those ego things. Like, there are a lot of problems in the world. I mean, there are a lot of problems in the world. And you're going to focus on your specific problem. You're going to focus on your problem, which is as simple as just muting. And it seems like a plea for attention. And I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm a fairly empathetic fella in real life. On YouTube and on the internet, I tend to do a little bit more of a professional wrestling persona, an MJF light, CM Punk light persona, if you will. But that's just because I want to be entertaining. I'm not a big fan of being white bread. Not a big fan of being white bread. I think it's a little boring. So that's just what I do. But regardless, there are a lot more pressing issues. Let's roll the second clip here. I will talk about it. This is the same person, by the way. Let's roll this clip, and then I will get into the more pressing issues, and I'll give my opinion on what she has to say here.
No, it's over, Ina. It's over. Like, If I were to have a boy, we better pray to God that he's gay. We better start indoctrinating him day one. We have to either make him trans or make him gay. We are not having a cisgender straight son.
Oh boy, is that not the most disgusting fucking thing you have ever heard? That is worse! That is worse than anything I have ever heard in a public Call of Duty lobby. And I was there in the trenches of Modern Warfare 2 2009 in public game chat. I was there. Never heard nothing like this. Never heard nothing like this. For the children in the world that are going to grow up with parents like this, I am terrified of the next generation to come if people like this are going to be their parents. I don't think Call of Duty game chat's the problem. I don't think men are the problem. I think people like this are the problem. And I think people like this have infested not just like Call of Duty, not just gaming in general, but I think they've infested the workplace, or almost guaranteed positions based on everything but the content of their character and how good they are at their job. And that is why we are in the state we are in with modern AAA, or in Ubisoft's case, quadruple A gaming. I think things are going to get worse before they get better. And I'm not even done this video. I'm not even done. Yesterday's video, I talked about this, but there's been more, and this is completely relevant to the current situation here. I'm just going to read you the article title and then read a little snippet from it, because I already covered most of this in yesterday's video. Game developer Activision Blizzard accused of hosting struggle sessions for white developers to discuss their privilege. I've been shocked at what my former coworkers have told me about Activision Blizzard. It's a very different place from what it used to be when the games were better and we left politics out of it, he told Blaze News. Says Mark Kern. And if you don't know who Mark Kern is, he used to work for Activision Blizzard many moons ago. Blizzard now has struggle sessions where white developers must discuss their privilege, and DEI emails go out every week, and I showed that in my last video. You should definitely check it out if you haven't watched it. Non-mandatory meetings that are clearly and openly mandatory, and now review forms that have you rate how well you DEI ESG. Now, my question's this. All those layoffs, all the layoffs we have experienced across the board in the gaming landscape, is it something to do with this? I'd be interested to see the actual stats of the people laid off. Were they all like white males or something? Were they people that didn't want to do these quote-unquote non-mandatory things, or called this stuff out for what it is? And what it is, make no mistake, what this is a fucking cult. This shit's cult-like. Anytime there's like some Call of Duty fanboy that doesn't like me on a social media platform or whatever, every time I click on their profile, like if they're talking shit to me, every time I click on their profile on Twitter, for example, it looks not dissimilar to this mock-up one I just made as a joke. It looks pretty much just like this. The scary thing is I'll look at their sign-up date and I'll look at the amount of tweets and stuff, and they post like, they tweet out like 50 to 100 times a day, every single day. It's just the dregs of society have infested Call of Duty. I don't know what else to call it. If you watch my last video, I show you clear as day. You can't argue it. It's irrefutable, factual evidence that Call of Duty does not give a shit about the people it's marketing towards during like Pride Month and whatnot. They are laughing their way to the bank because they are just manipulating these people to get their money at the end of the day. And I showed their hypocrisy by adding in the Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj skins. Those two have had several instances of just overt homophobia, yet they get a skin in a Call of Duty game. Why? Because Activision Blizzard does not care, nor do they care to even try to hide their hypocrisy after the whole Nick Merckx thing, you know. Snoop Dogg and Nicki Minaj are more famous. They're going to make them more money, so Nick Merckx has to be the scapegoat here, but they're not even consistent with their own practices. But anyway, I could literally show people this. I could show the entire community this. Hold it up. Irrefutable factual evidence. Like Chad Kroger, and look at this photograph. You know, like that meme and that awful Nickelback song. I could show that fucking like Exhibit A, and people would just ignore it, and they'd be like, "Fuck you, Blame Truth. I hope your house burns down, you piece of shit." I'm like, okay. But then I think of this quote by Mark Twain, which says, "It's easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled." And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, guys, I hate to kind of be covering this, and I hate that politics have just wormed their way into gaming. I want to make this very clear before I close this video out here. I only judge you guys, me as a human being, based on the content of your character. I don't care what you do otherwise, as long as it's not like, you know, what this woman said on her fucking live stream, which... Is this the new norm? If it is, I don't want to be normal. I will gladly be abnormal if this is like where society is heading and whatnot. Either way, guys, you know, I've been doing this for such a long time, and I do want to go back and talk about like how there's problems that exist outside of your own feelings and your own like ego and only things that affect you. There's so many problems in the world. In the next month or two, I'm actually going to be hiking the highest peak east of the Mississippi River, climbing a mountain, essentially. I'm going to be doing that to raise money for the shelter where I got my dog. It's the 10-year anniversary since I adopted him. For the cause, I am going to be hiking this mountain to raise money for shelter animals. I'll be probably making a video about this and putting it up on YouTube. It might like destroy my algorithm because that's not something I usually upload. But I used to stream on Twitch and raise money for shelters once a year with every new Call of Duty release, but I don't really stream on Twitch anymore. So I figured this would be a cool thing to do for my dog's 10-year adoption day anniversary. He is 13 and a half years old. We just went on like a 2-mile hike today. I can't take him on this mountain climb hike with me. I think he's a little bit too old for that. But man, he is still in such good health, such good shape. 13 and a half years old, still just, I don't know, he's still just a puppy. I don't know how he does it. I've been feeding this dog prime kibble and giving him purified water, no tap water for him. So maybe that's been the secret. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll let you know more about that fundraiser when I get to it. I gotta whip myself into shape. This is like an 11-mile straight up mountain thing, so it's gonna be quite exhausting, but I'll keep you guys updated on it. I'll catch you on the next one. The world's going fucking crazy. Everybody, please stay safe out there. Call this shit out, man. God, people are just insane. And I'll try to stay as sane as I can for you. Covering Call of Duty, though, there's no guarantees. I might pull a Jack Torrance in The Shining, who knows. But either way, I'll try to keep my head screwed on straight. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Everybody have a good one. Peace out.
Here's some parting advice.